Branding is one of the most fun parts of building a brand, a fashion brand, that you could possibly work on. At least I think so. So we're gonna go over what is branding. Do you need to hire somebody to do your branding? We're gonna give you a little branding 101 overview today. Hi guys, welcome to The Thread. My name is Kendall. Thank you so much for being here for another episode. Talking all about branding today, giving you a little short overview. I'm really trying to keep my videos more short and like more bite-sized. So I'm not gonna give you every tidbit of information on branding in the world. I really just want to give you an overview and talk about, is this something you need to hire for? But even if you do end up hiring someone down the road to do your branding for you, it's really important that as the owner, as the founder, and as the designer, that you understand how important branding is and you understand the personality of your brand and who your customer is and how to communicate that to them. So first of all, what is branding? Branding, if I had to sum it up, and I've watched so many YouTube videos lately where people go on and on and on about what branding is. They could talk for like an hour on what branding is. To sum it up, I would describe it as your personality of your brand delivered visually, right? So all of your visuals that you have, your website, your logos, your colors, your fonts, the way your packaging looks, the way your photo shoots look, all of that, anything visual that you can communicate in an instant to your customer is your branding or your brand identity. You have a personality, you have a reputation more or less, right? And so your brand needs to have an identity and a personality as well. So, all right, so it's important to get your branding right because you really want to, number one, attract the right customer, okay? I talked about this in my video about finding a niche. You don't need to appeal to everybody. You don't have to make branding that your mom likes, You're trying to appeal to your customer, and the more specific that is, the better, okay? Number two, you want to make that person a customer by doing the branding right? Communicating with them, all your visuals say to them, we are on the same wavelength. We get each other. I was made for you, so that hopefully turns them into a customer. And then number three, turn them into a loyal, lifelong customer, hopefully by staying consistent over time. Okay, so I have some steps for you here. So number one, to start working on your branding, I would start researching your competitors. Now, hopefully you did this a bit in the market research episode, and you got kind of a lay of the land of who would be our competition. Start narrowing it down to like the top 2 or 3 people or brands that might be your competition. And of course, they're not going to be exactly the same as you. They might even offer slightly different products, but maybe their vibe is kind of similar. They're in the same category, the same market as you. So start narrowing down some competitors and then really take an in-depth look at their branding, their websites, their social media, like go through every single page and sign up for their newsletters, and start asking yourself, okay, what do they really get right here? Like, how are they communicating with their customer effectively? Is it their colors? Like, what is it about their whole aesthetic and their whole personality and their visuals that really gives you a certain feeling or emotion? And then start to decide, do I want to do something similar to XYZ, and how do I want to be different from them? So start making a little list and start saving, those competitors. Number two, I want you to describe your brand in 3 words. Okay, so narrow it down. If you learn anything from me, guys, it's gonna be the term narrow it down. Okay, you could describe your brand in 2 single space pages, and you can, that would be a good exercise actually. But ultimately, I want you to describe your brand in like 3, maybe 4 words. So for example, if there was say there was a maternity brand. So picture a maternity brand, could be anything. If I told you their 3 words to describe their brand was like romantic, earthy and natural, that would conjure a certain image, right? A certain feeling in your mind. If I told you their words were like glamorous, professional, and polished, that would, bring to mind a completely different type of maternity brand look. Okay, so the 3 words are really important. So start narrowing that down after some research. Number 3, create a mood board. And again, narrow it down. Okay, so I'm sure we've all created mood boards and Pinterest boards with like inspiration for our brand, but once you get serious about the branding process, start to narrow it down to like 5 or 6 visuals. Honestly, limit yourself. It'll help so much. And you know what? If you do decide to hire somebody to help with branding or to do your whole branding for you, having a really narrowed down, concise mood board will really help them understand what are the most important things that you want to get across. What are the most important, like, not just colors, but just the whole vibe, the whole aesthetic, that comes through. So that's your next step. So, and then the 4th step would be to sign up for Canva. If you don't already know about Canva, it's an amazing resource. I use it every day. They do have a free version, and they have a paid version with a little bit more in there. But they have an extensive collection of templates. They even have pre-made logos, which I wouldn't necessarily do if you're trying to create, a unique brand. But they're worth having a look, kind of seeing what's out there, what fonts do they use, what fonts do they pair together, and just really start to explore, what you can do. And then this will give you a good idea of, am I good at this? Do I like doing this? Because if you really hate this process, that's a good sign that you should hire somebody else. Now, in the beginning, I really go back and forth on, do I recommend hiring somebody at the beginning? And it's kind of yes or no. In an ideal world, yes, like hire a professional, pay for a professional, but I know that most of us are bootstrapping, most of us are on a tight budget. I know I was. So the more you can do yourself, the better. But if you can't hire somebody and pay like thousands of dollars, you can certainly go to like Upwork or Fiverr or something like that and hire just somebody to do like a very small package for you, or maybe even just a logo or a word. And also, lean into the fact that you're a small independent brand. What can you actually offer? What can you do that's unique that big corporations and big, huge brands aren't doing, or that they really can't deliver? Can you deliver like something really unique and special? Like, lean into that at first. That's really something special. And I also wanted to mention that the higher your price point is going to be, the more elevated your branding needs to be. So like a luxury brand, or even below that, even a little bit below that, you cannot offer some homegrown stuff that you did at home. You need to offer something very elevated. And in fact, if you go on any luxury websites, not saying you guys are necessarily going to do a luxury brand, but it might be good just to poke around and, kind of get an idea of the seamless experience that luxury brands offer, like from start to finish on their websites. So just keep in mind, the higher your price point is going to be, the more you are asking of people to pay over, something that they could get cheaper, the more elevated your brand needs to be, because it's all about communicating with your customer, communicating that your values are elevated, your product is elevated, and their whole experience is going to be elevated as well, right? Because at the end of the day, branding is about providing someone with an experience, an emotional experience, really a feeling. So it's just so much beyond just choosing a logo, choosing some colors and calling it a day. It's delivering the whole emotional experience. So just keep that in mind going forward. And that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you a little bit of an insight on what branding is, what you need to be thinking about, and just how important it is. So leave a comment below if this helped you. Please like and subscribe because it really helps me. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.